baby.
Hello.
Hi.
We
This is
are
our
from
fifth video.
We are from group
14.
14.
Yeah.
So, my name is Nanavelan Sivapalan, matric number 172050.
My name is Noor Shahira binti Mat Ghazali, metric number 172886.
Hello, my name is Kanmani Anpalanda. My metric number is 174352.
Hi, my name is Amira Shakila binti Ghazali, metric number 17424.
Hi, my name is Nurul Fatihah Azizi, metric number 174183.
My name is Muhammad Yazid Bustami, 175124 group 14. Alright.
Okay, now let's start our discussion.
Today we have a very interesting topic. Right?
Okay, what is our topic today?
Title is Superbugs.
Superbugs. Right?
Yes.
So what is superbug? Money?
Macam Ant-Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it looks like scorpions.
Looks like
Scorpions, large size Ant-Man, superbugs. If in terms of fantasy, it sounds like that, but not as vet student. We need to think in a different perspective.
Yes.
So there comes the dry topic of pathogens, bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics and antibiotics.
That's actually the key word. That is resistant towards antibiotics that make them super. So like they have superpower, right?
Superpower against the
Antibiotics.
Yes.
Okay.
So why we need to worry about superbugs?
Yeah.
Because we have a limited antibiotic choice that has been invented since only 1980s.
Yeah.
And still right now they only have discovered only one antibiotic that has been invented recently.
What is the example of superbugs out there? I think it's one of these Staphylococcus aureus, right? That is quite resistant to methicillin and penicillin. I mean that's one of the group of antibiotics.
Salmonella typhimurium
Yes.
in the avian or
Yeah, also it's quite resistant towards many antibiotics.
And also enterococci. That is
E. coli, Enterococci.
enterococci.
Enterococci, Escherichia coli.
For vancomycin or something, one of the antibiotics. So the abbreviation is VRE.
Yeah.
Vancomycin resistant enterococci.
That one is classified in the high group.
Yeah,
resistant. For the Staphylococcus aureus in the risk
the critical.
critical, medium critical.
procureur resistant to Myvector.
Campylobacter also is resistant towards.
So among superbugs, as others mentioned, you can classify also in different groups, is it?
Yeah, we also have.
So we already have the critical group, and we have the less critical or less severe, and the other last one is the medium. So
The less severe group is I think Helicobacter.
so the critical group that we have to be most scared of, because they are the most resistant to most of the drugs, right?
So, it's okay that if bacteria develops resistance towards one type of drug, because antibiotics, we have many generations of antibiotics, right? Old generations and the new generation. So let's say a bacteria develops resistance towards something like penicillin and so on, which are old type, right? We can still solve that problem by using new generation antibiotics like fluoroquinolones or cephalosporins.
Is it possible that we are resistant to the all
Yes, like someone mentioned just now, Campylobacter is resistant to fluoroquinolones as well, right? So that is dangerous because we don't have other options to take that.
Like penicillin, it has the synthetic type, which is the methicillin. So they could be resistant to methicillin also. So what are we afraid of this issue? Why are we so concerned?
Because I think when we resistant to the antibiotic, when for example outbreak or any disease occurs at our farm, we do not have choice to treat our animals, and that will cause more severe and will be spread more severely.
Yes, even we cannot treat even the simple infection.
And we also need to worry about the zoonotic diseases, not only to our animals but also to human beings, where some of the disease can be transmitted to human, and also we don't have the antibiotic that can cure the infection or the
Before
disease.
we going any further, so what is antimicrobial usage in veterinary field and animal husbandry? So you actually want to know that, right? What is our
because you are
Want to know,
not
right?
vet.
antimicrobial? So one of the usage of antimicrobial is for the therapy,
Therapy.
Yes, exactly.
and then metaphylaxis, prophylaxis for the growth promoter, and another for food preservation. So it's all related about to the food safety, food security, animal husbandry, so all related. Okay.
One of the important uses that we must consider for the prevention of antibiotic resistant, I think prophylactic, because in many fields they use prophylactic antibiotic usage with non-recommended dosage to the high dosage. Prophylactic is meant to be low dosage or lower than the meant range, but when they find out, most of the farmers, when they find out, the animals start to have resistance, the prophylactic is not working anymore, so they start to increase the dosage slowly, and until it reaches the maximum dosage, where the vet don't have any other choice to go further than the recommended range. So they go further than the dosage.
I think for your case, we must educate the farmers as a vet to make sure that the side effect of using antibiotic with improper dosage, and so that the farmer, they only know that when they give the antibiotic, their animals healthy and better, but they do not know what the side effect about the resistance, and when it happen, it come to us and problems cannot be cured, cannot be resolved because of the problem that they do produce.
Apart from the prophylactic use, they also one of the cause is because they distribute minimal dosage of the antibiotic, because certain bacteria was not killed on that process, so they will be more stronger and more resistance in the future. So they could be mutation, and so they will become stronger in the future, especially in human and in animal companion animal. They usually did not finish all the prescribed antibiotic.
Yeah, that's why.
So you must finish all your antibiotic.
Yes.
Okay, even
Even though
for
it's
7 days,
better.
even though you're getting better, but then you have to finish all the medicine. Okay.
Actually, it's quite a big issue about this antimicrobial resistance, because when the medical doctor find out that the patient is resistant towards something, for example, and they will blame the veterinarian field, where we misuse the antibiotic in farm animals or during food preparation. But we actually in medicine doctor also quite misuse of the antibiotic. So this issue is like blaming one another without actually finding the way to resolve these problems. So
Yeah, one of
quite a fight.
Yep. One of the reasons why the human population might put the blame on veterinarians is because there's a chance that people can develop antimicrobial resistance. I mean, in human pathogens by getting the antibiotics from meat they consume, right?
Yes.
Because, like Fatia said, farmers use antibiotics on meat animals as a growth promoter, as a prophylactic thing. But sometimes they don't use it in the right way because antibiotics have withdrawal periods, right, from the meat. So they have to follow that.
Every farm should have a veterinarian. Right? And some of the farmers don't want to hire the veterinarian because they will increase the cost. But I think it's okay to increase the cost by hiring a veterinarian that can control the antibiotic usage, so that this kind of antibiotic resistance may be prevented.
Yes. Don't blame vet on me because oh my god, I want to
Cover.
in this case, it can be the problem from the vet itself, but it can be also from the medicine doctor because some of the doctor want to shortcut, and when the patient come with the fever, they always give antibiotic directly without any reason. They give antibiotic. Some of the case, the patient did not need antibiotic, but doctor give as a treatment, shortcut treatment.
Or for profit maybe.
Yes, exactly. Nowadays, economy.
Do you hear about the viral issue recently about the hormone injection in the chicken? So that one actually is not hormone, but then is a antimicrobial injection for the growth promoter, but we are not practicing it because in one flock is about 50,000 birds. So how we want to inject one by one?
Yes.
So you
Impossible.
must know that viral is not true at all. Okay, it's all about the genetic improvement. That's why the bird getting fatter in 42 days.
Yes, we use the best quality of
Genetic,
Genetic selection.
genetic selection.
There's also this problem that some doctors, human or veterinarians, when they see a case coming in, they don't do antimicrobial sensitivity test, and they straight away use new generation drugs, such as fluoroquinolones. Whereas that bacteria causing disease might respond to old generation antimicrobial. So when they straight away start with new generation antimicrobials, and there's a chance that the bacteria might develop resistance to that, and if that happens in the future, if the person or animal gets the infection again, there's no chance of treating it because it won't respond to both.
So what do you mean when we want to give treatment? We must use the old generation first.
Start from step by step. I mean, that's what I read somewhere.
And I think what type of drug the old generation which is the penicillin? So I think the selection of the antibiotics is also important. I want to add to his point. We need to use the narrow spectrum of antibiotic first before we prescribe the broad spectrum antibiotic. So to reduce the.
Do you want to know how that bacteria become resistant? How that strategy of the bacteria become resistant to the antimicrobial?
Wow.
So in each cell of bacteria, they have a target cell that have a receptor.
Yeah.
So the first thing first, they modify the receptor.
Change the receptor, right?
Yes, receptor. So when the modifications of receptor, a new receptor, so the drug cannot attach to the bacteria. So you cannot, the drug cannot attack to the bacteria. So that is one of the strategy of the bacteria. It's common strategy. So we have to prevent that.
Talking about penicillin before that, do you know how penicillin was found? It's a fun fact.
How?
Fun fact.
How penicillin was found?
I think it was not really experiment, but it's
Accidentally.
Yes.
Penicillin was first found by Alexander.
Wow.
Alexander penicillin.
And is it? I don't know his surname.
Funny.
Alexander. Yeah. So when he went out, he was doing a lot of research on antibiotics and on this bacteria growth. When he went out for a short trip, he just left the plates without covering. So there was some fungal growth on his house or the lab, and which
On the black.
no, it was on the
Ceiling.
on the ceiling, yeah. And then after some time, it started to drop and it had growth on the plate. So when then he realized, oh, there is some region, the region that there is no bacterial growth, which is showing that the bacteria cannot, that the fungus is inhibiting the growth of the bacteria. So there comes penicillin.
Yeah, tada. But actually, it's quite a challenge field to develop a new generation of antibiotic, because when they found, oh, there's new antibiotic, when they tested, maybe tomorrow or next week, the bacteria already resistant to the new antibiotic. So to come up with a very good or very the new antibiotic, it's not that easy. We can say we want new type of antibiotic. It's not that easy, even though you have $1 million, but maybe you can't create the new antibiotic. It really takes time, research and development to come up with one good antibiotic. Maybe we need another accident from the ceiling or from somewhere to give us a new antibiotic. We need to pray more maybe rather than to research more.
Can you try after that?
Huh? Yes, why not?
Actually, Alexander also already predict the microbial resistance towards these antibiotics. So he already gave this warning in his articles.
It's like 50 years ago, right? 70 years ago?
Yeah.
30 years ago?
I'm not sure about this.
It's not like 10 years ago, right?
Ah.
Or 30 years ago, you already predicted this.
Hundreds of years ago.
So to prevent this, you must use the antibiotic wisely and use the correct dose and take the antibiotic.
Finish.
Finish the antibiotic within the period given.
So, this is very important because bacteria and pathogens can develop resistance very fast, because we are complex organisms, human and animals. So we take time to evolve, whereas bacteria and pathogens, they are single cell or very small, so they can evolve very fast. So it might be too late before we realize sometimes.
Yeah, some say that bacteria exists before human being. Do you know that? Before Adam, there already a bacteria.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, there are people saying that, but not really. We need more research on that.
Yes, because it is their nature to evolve in order to survive in the nature.
Maybe one of the dinosaurs died because of bacteria, maybe? It's not a comet or asteroid or something like that. Maybe because of the Bukoderia Sumali.
Think about that after the
Yazid, you know about the One Health?
Yeah.
One Health. Your shirt.
Yeah.
You know
Why
that
related of One Health in our topic?
One Health is include the vet, human, and environment. So in that case, the One Health organization can control the use of antibiotic in the vet and also in humans, so that we do not use the same antibiotic and narrow down the specific antibiotic that used in the medicine doctor and the vet.
Yes, that is quite important.
Actually, precautionary steps are already taken in human medicine. They have the last choice of drugs where they are not supposed to test their drugs until they found that that patient is not responding to any other antibiotics. So one of the examples is cholesterol.
Yes.
So high grade antibiotic.
The last line.
When needed, when needed. In case of emergency, when there's no other antibiotic. I mean, in farm animals, we also can use probiotics, for example, to reduce the consumption or the usage of antibiotic.
So,
Vitagen. This one of the
Yogurt.
probiotic. Or Yakult. I drink 2. Strange Rota.
why that's why they
And
have
to enrich our body immune system and also our
yes.
also to compete with bacteria so that bacteria have no chance to grow. Right.
Okay, so I think it comes to the conclusion that antibiotic resistance is a very
Serious problem.
yes, it's a problem now, and we as a future vet must aware about that because it can create more problem in the futures, and also take precaution and prevention. Do use the antibiotic wisely.
And find alternative for the antibiotics such as probiotic.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's all for our first, our fifth discussion. So after this will be our last. Huh?
That's all from us.
We will miss that.
Bye.
Bye.